Hey, hey!
Hey.
We're back at it.
Good morning.
I feel like
Like
saying
moves?
back at it. We're always at it. We're back at it.
Like we've been away. But we're always here. We will find you. You know that one?
I know that one. You don't have to explain it to me. Thank you.
You know that. If you don't know that one, it's from Wedding Crashers. I don't remember the actress's name, but she was Vince Vaughn's girlfriend in the movie.
They were not girlfriends. I suppose she thought they were
She
a
thought they
girlfriend.
were. And that's what he couldn't get away from her. And that's what she always said, I'll find you. So we joke about that sometimes.
What are we going to talk about today?
Funny stuff. Today we're talking about sugar. Oh my, words aren't coming out. Halloween's coming up. Thanksgiving just passed. So there is a lot of sugar going on. I feel like it never stops.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop. Like, we have always an excuse why that it's okay to eat sugar. Oh, it's Thanksgiving, I'll just have a piece of pie. Or, oh, it's Halloween, I'll just have a few candies. But then, before we know it, we're getting into Christmas, and Christmas can last like up to like a month. 6 weeks. We start in like December. Oh, like, the treats start coming into work. Oh, I'll just have one cookie because it's Christmas. Or, so it just never stops, because then after Christmas, it's Valentine's Day. Oh, I'll just have chocolates because it's Valentine's Day. And then it's something else, and birthdays, and oh my gosh, sugar. Ah!
It's madness. It's maddening. If you guys are tuning in, let us know.
Yeah.
Nice to know who's in here.
Yeah, so we just wanted to talk about how to... Well, we'll probably touch on a little bit about the effects of sugar on our body, and then we'll talk about detox.
Your voice went low there for a second.
I know.
What's happening?
I don't want to be honest with what was happening with my body. I had a little bubble or something down there that... Anyway, that's what happened. So we'll get into that. It's actually one of our favorite topics to talk about. I was going to say, besides digestion, because digestion is like our number one favorite topic, but sugar and digestion go hand in hand. And sleep too. Oh my gosh, the cycle.
Okay, take a breath here. So, we went to a conference that we want to talk about.
Oh, yes.
So we'll talk about sugar detoxing, and then we also have, maybe we'll touch on Halloween a bit, but maybe next week the whole show is going to be Halloween.
Oh.
Although, This is it's very similar, right?
Sure.
Sugar detoxing,
Halloween.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty similar.
Yes.
Because Halloween treats are here now.
Oh gosh, yes. They've been here. How long have we seen them sitting at the store? And how many of us have been like, oh, I'm going to be prepared for the trick-or-treaters and buy my Halloween treats early, and then whoopsies, I ate them all. That's happened.
Has that happened?
That's happened.
That's happened before.
Yeah. And we have some tips and tricks about Halloween candy and how to be very mindful about how much we're consuming of Halloween candy. But I'm not really sure, Drew, where you want to start.
Why don't you tell them, I'm just doing some sharing here. Why don't you tell them about our conference? That was pretty fun.
Okay. So this past Tuesday, we went to a conference in downtown LA, which was super motivating and inspiring. And it's just so, to be in a room filled of people, it was an entrepreneur kind of conference. And it wasn't that big, actually. There was only about 3,000 people-ish, I think.
It was pretty big.
Oh, well, for LA, 3,000 people is that's big. But anyway, I was expecting it to be huge, actually. But I just came, well, not just came, but in July I went to a conference that had 20,000 people. So 3,000 felt like, But anyway, it's all perspective, right? We got to listen to a bunch of different millionaires, I guess you would say, wouldn't you? Successful people.
You never know. Like, a lot of times people are like, I make $1 billion. And they don't. They're not even close to that.
Oh, okay. Well,
but
successful people.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting and inspiring to hear all of their stories and about how you have to put in the work. A lot of times we see high profile people or really successful people and we think that, oh, they were born into it, or oh, they had a big break, or oh, they just fell into it or were lucky. But each one of them was speaking about how you have to put in the work. One of the speakers says, if you're here today to find a hack, guess what? There are no hacks. And you probably should consider doing something else if you think that there is a hack, because there's not. It's just hard work. So it's just so important to expand your mind and go listen to different people talk about their journeys and their successes.
Yeah, and I think that that's a great point, because many times, like, for whatever reason, I get a chance to talk to entrepreneurs all the time. And sometimes they ask me questions, or sometimes we just have open conversations. And so often they're like, oh, like startups and like newer entrepreneurs, because they ask questions like, how are you able to be on radio for so long? How are you able to get people to watch your videos? Whatever it is. And then we have these conversations and they're like, oh, I can make my business successful in 3 years. Or, oh, I plan on working on my business and then selling it after a handful of years. And like, it doesn't work like that. And I do these entrepreneur videos for our Facebook group, and then sometimes I throw them up on Instagram. And I talked about this same thing, but like, the top people in the world spent 20, 30, 40 years building their brands, building their businesses. The best in the world. So it's always like shocking to me when people are like, oh, well, just because they spent that long doesn't mean I have to. I can build my brand in a few years. Like, what is it? Like, no, you can't. Like, it's not. You don't do that. It doesn't happen in business. And I suppose when I kind of started out too, I was like, oh, I'm going to be. We just don't know any better, right? You don't know any better. But if you study people that are successful and you study and watch how they made their success, it takes years, because you have to develop trust and you have to develop relationships and you have to make those connections. And there's only so many hours out of the day, and as much as we try to work every single minute of it, there's only so many hours and there's only so many days, so it's limited.
And you know what is the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur? To me, if I had to pick one thing that was the hardest, it's patience. You have to have so much patience. And I think it's especially hard now. And maybe it's always been hard, the patience factor, but I think it's especially hard now because of the type of world we live in. This instant results kind of world, quick fix, everything at our fingertips. So we expect everything instantly. Yeah. And so I think it's hard to be patient. Well, it is for me. But coming from a career in teaching to the entrepreneur world is the hardest thing that I've ever done, or that I am doing. Because, when you have a career or a salary, you know exactly what's happening financially, right? You know that you're getting paid this amount on this day at this time, and it's always there. It always comes in. As long as you have your job and everything, it's always there. But with entrepreneurship, there's so many unknowns, which is really hard for me.
Paycheck is a big one.
Yeah.
Though, I gotta tell this story, and we'll get off the entrepreneur topic because I imagine some of you aren't interested. Is anyone, maybe leave in the comments, I know there's a handful of you watching, or is anyone interested in entrepreneur conversations, or not really?
And we won't be offended if you say, no, stop talking about that.
Yeah, it's fine. So I gotta tell this story. Like, so Dorothy was working full-time on her teaching. And then she was doing true form stuff, and then it transitioned to doing half true form, half teaching, then mostly true form and no teaching.
No teaching. Yeah.
So at any rate, Dorothy was kind of transitioning, and I was like, well, maybe you can do the books. We were trying to figure out like what she could do or how she could help the business grow, and I like hated doing the books. I still do. And so Dorothy started doing the books. Can I tell the story?
Yes.
And so Dorothy started doing the books. So one month, like, I don't know if was it the first month, it was good or not so good? Give me a short answer. I'm down the start.
Okay, one of the first months, yes.
Was good?
Because fall is always pretty good.
Okay, so Dorothy did the books, and we made a large chunk of money that month. And she was, like, dancing around. And she was all excited. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" She's like, "Look at all this money we made." And I was like, "Well," I was like, maybe you shouldn't get too excited because the months go up and down. And then the next month, Dorothy,
oh my gosh, the world is ending.
Dorothy was in tears, and she's like throwing a fit, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta go back to teaching full time. This isn't gonna work." We're
not gonna make it.
Like a full blown meltdown, and I was like, "Okay, you need to relax,
reel it in,
because next month it's gonna go up, and then the month after that it's gonna go down. Like it's all, or we'll have 2 months up and 2 months down. Like that's how it works." So it's pretty funny, but I never really had a steady job. Like for most part, I was always working for myself in some manner, so I never knew what it was like to get a steady paycheck. So someone for Dorothy and like so many people in the world, like they know what they're getting paid every month. This is what I'm spending.
It's very comforting.
and like we don't know like how much money is going to come in, if people are going to pay their invoices or bills, but there's always money going out. Like it always costs money to run a business, but the money that doesn't always come back in. So Dorothy was like losing her mind, and I was like, just relax. This is how it works.
And it's so hard to be like, you are dependent on, a lot of times, right? Dependent on other people. Or like Drew said, like, we don't know who's going to pay their invoices, right? So, or like, we don't know how sales is going to go. So it's like, so, and I'm such a control, like, I like structure and everything. So that was really hard for me.
Could you unplug that battery?
Yes.
And at any rate, that was just fun. John says, "Morning, John." John says,
"Hey,
I'm
John."
interested in entrepreneur. John runs his own business. He started a Facebook page that when he's ready, we'll help promote. And he's doing, I think, now you're on Instagram, John. So that's awesome. Congrats. If you're interested, or anytime you want, you can drop a link into our comments, and we'll share it during any of our lives.
And please talk to Drew about business, because then he'll not talk to me so much about it. Drew always has so many different ideas and so many different things going on. Sometimes I'm like, Drew, stop, my brain hurts.
I have to, I've gotten better at just being like, it's not a good time. Before, I would just talk about business, and Dorothy would lose it. Like, stop talking about business. And then it was like, then I'd have to ask her, like, can I talk to you about business? And she'll say yes or no. And then now I'm at a point where I'm like, I know it's not a good time. Like, I really want to tell her something, but I'm like, it's not going to work out right now.
But you have to understand too that it's like our business is constant, right? We don't. It's not like a 9 to 5 where you tune in and tune off. Is that right? Or clock in and clock out. It's always like you wake up. It's from the moment you wake up, from the moment you go to sleep. It's all business. So sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do any more business talk. Or sometimes we specifically will go out on a walk or a bike ride or a run, and I'll say to Drew, no talking of business on this run or this walk, or if we go out for a meal or something like that. One rule, no business talk. That probably happens maybe once or twice a month.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. Dorothy's been better. Like, it doesn't happen too much anymore, but I think I've been better too at not bringing up business at certain times. Mm-hmm. At any rate, that's our life. That's what we do. So. Suzanne says, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And John says it's a complex topic. Entrepreneurship. Yeah, yes. There's so much to talk about. Okay, so that's what we had going on. So we were at this conference, and it was like an all-day conference, 14 hours. It was like a grind. There was someone sleeping behind me. And
Drew actually snapped a picture.
Took a picture. I thought it was hilarious. But then it goes hand in hand. Like, I saw the people eating the food. Mm-hmm. So we were at the cafeteria. We brought our own food. We had snacks all day. Dorothy does a really good job of that prep. And then there was someone eating chicken wings to the left. And behind us, someone was eating pizza. And in front of us, someone was eating a burger and fries. And then you see someone sleeping in the conference. And like, it's not like rocket science. Like, you have to fuel your body properly so your mind is clear and so your body is alive and alert. If you're putting like hard to digest foods in your body, not only are you going to have digestion issues, you're going to have energy issues, and then you're going to have issues with being alert. So it was just very clear, like, the foods that we're putting in our bodies aren't getting us to the level we need to be to run a successful business.
And even, I was going to say, I know people hate it when I pick on their coffee, but even watching people drink coffee or other caffeinated drinks, right? In the morning, as it was early, it started at 8, so in LA. It's like 2 hours worth of traffic and parking and everything. So it was super early, and you see everybody walking in with their coffee in the morning, and then in the afternoon or later on you have that crash. But that's why it was super important for us to snack, to keep snacking throughout the day on our healthy snacks. We had apples and oranges and some granola bars and trail mix because, well, for one, I find that it helps, like if I keep my hands like doing something or if I'm busy eating, then it helps keep me alert. But also, constantly having nutrition in your body helps you be more alert and more focused.
Energized. Gives you energy.
A lot of people probably didn't eat breakfast, most likely, because it was early. And then we didn't get a break until lunch. So they went for hours without eating. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to focus and have a clear mind when you're not fueling your body.
There's this one, they had the cafeteria there, and it wasn't open yet. And one lady was like, banging on the cafeteria door. She's like, when are you guys gonna open? And I'm guessing like she wanted a morning coffee.
Right.
It's like, I doubt she was like, I can't wait to have breakfast, because if she was that type of person, she would have left before she ate. Or
she would have ate before she left.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's so important to fuel your body properly. And it's shocking to me because entrepreneurs are like always working, like always grinding, like there's never, and you don't clock out. So, and then they put those foods in their bodies that like drains the life out of them. Like, how do you function at a proper? And I don't think if you could put one thing to help your business grow would be to put proper
fuel your body.
Food. Yeah, because you need to be constantly on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got going on with that.
With the conference.
So I snapped a picture of that one person, thought it was hilarious, and then like half the people in the audience was texting on their phones.
Yeah,
which was crazy to me. Because you go, like, you pay money to go to the events. You see these people that have, like, successful businesses, successful careers. And, then you sit there on your phone. Like, and it wasn't like we did some social media posts. Like, I did a pretty good job of staying off. But Dorothy did some posts. She had some business to do. But I saw people, like, the guy next to me was, like, just having
the whole time. Yeah. Oops.
The guy next to me was just he was just having, like, a text conversation. And I'm like, I just thought, like, what are you doing here? There was a girl in front of me that was playing like a video game, like a Tetris kind of game.
But the guy beside us was just scrolling his newsfeed like the whole time. Remember?
Yeah, well, we saw that the whole thing. So it was just surprising. Like you go there and then so someone's going to be like, I guarantee there's people that was like, oh yeah, I went, it wasn't all that interesting, because you're on your phone, or I didn't get much out of it. Or they're going to complain about their business, like, oh, my business like is struggling, it's not that successful. I tried to go to these events, but they really didn't do much for me. Because you're on your phone the whole time.
Yeah, well, actually, Gene Simmons was the speaker, and honestly, like, Drew and I were talking about how these, like, bigger names like Gene Simmons, like, obviously he has lots going on and has been successful, but speaker-wise... But we think that, they need some of these bigger names coming into their conferences to get people in the seats, right? But anyway, he actually called somebody out for using their phone during the presentation, and it was kind of hilarious. He just walks over and was like, I don't know what she's doing on her phone.
Yeah.
He, like, pulled her out of the audience and kind of embarrassed her.
There was a few. There was at least 3 that I can remember that were like, they were like, are you guys here or are you on your phones?
Yeah.
Like, be here, present, and take some initiative, like take some action.
Yeah.
So anyways, what else we got? Let's talk about sugar detoxing.
Sure.
Who wants to start?
You start.
Okay, so sugar detox. So we're like, pretty much everyone's addicted to sugar on some level. There's sugar in everything. You have to deliberately and consciously and regularly go out of your way to avoid sugar. So anything that comes in boxes.
Sorry, I just want to say when we talk sugar, we mean refined sugar.
Right.
Right.
So there's different forms of sugar. Like there's sugar from fruit, for example. Sugar from honey, for example. I heard this like research that was like, I don't know if it's a research or someone's opinion. That's like, it was someone's opinion. They're like, sugar's a sugar. You either eat it or you don't. I'm like, no, it's not.
That's not our belief.
That's like saying a carb's a carb or a protein's a protein. Like they all do something different in our body. Like our body all reacts differently. So at any rate, this is refined sugar that we're talking about, and it's very difficult to avoid sugar in boxes, in packaged food, in your day-to-day lifestyle. And it's crazy to me is, and I say this all the time, and I do like at presentations, people are like, oh, but when you add sugar, like for example, we used to add like brown sugar to cereal once in a while, or you add sugar to coffee, for example, and it's crazy to me, like there's sugar in everything, like unless you're like regularly and like I said, consciously and continually trying to avoid it, which is what we do. You are consuming sugar on a regular basis, but then we go out of our way to put more sugar in. Like you have enough sugar in your life, but then we put sugar in our coffee, or we put sugar on our cereal. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's like sugar is everywhere, and we're highly addicted to it.
Mm-hmm. When I think about sugars, I think about what is from nature and what is synthetic, right? So the refined sugars, or those, what do you call them? Like low-calorie fake sugar substitutes. Like those are all chemically made. So big no-no, because our bodies can't process them. But honey, for example, comes from nature, comes from bees. Maple syrup comes from a tree, comes from nature. Stevia is a plant. Like all of those nature, or I say natural sugars, I feel like it's way different. Like we can't even put them in the same category. If it like the natural sugars to refined sugars or chemically made sugars. And I just find that's a good way for me to think about it. And I can't put those in the same category and say a sugar is a sugar. One's natural, one's made in a lab.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Because, so for example, like we actually got to see maple being tapped.
Mm-hmm.
And
we
then
went to a sugar farm.
Yeah, it was super cool because we don't have it.
Go, Drew.
You done?
Go.
Time out?
No, you go.
You need like a mute button. Mute. We actually got a chance to go to Maple Farm. What do you call it?
Maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. So they're actually tapping the trees, and in where I grew up in Alberta, they don't have that. They have oil and cattle. So I didn't get a chance to see any of that. But we went out to the East Coast, and was it right in New Brunswick, or were we outside of New Brunswick?
No, we were in New Brunswick.
So we were in New Brunswick, and they had like all these, like, I don't know, what are they called? Like
the lines.
The lines going from tree to tree, and it was like the tree was like dripping maple syrup, and the maple syrup was like going down into like these big buckets or bins of.
And then they take those big. We went to quite a small one. It was actually one of my dad's clients has his own little sugar shack or maple syrup shack, and he just kind of does it as a hobby or for fun. But there are some bigger corporations that have huge farms, but this was just kind of like a small little camp. But then you take those buckets and you take them into the big boiler, and depending on how much you boil it down, it depends on the different products you get. Oh,
morning, Jen.
Maple butter.
Oh, I do enjoy maple butter. I didn't think I'd like maple butter. Someone gave it to us as a gift, I think. To your family?
Yeah.
And it was sitting in the cupboard for quite a while. Do you not eat it?
No, I love maple butter.
I don't know why it was sitting there for so long. I feel like it was sitting there for a while. And then I like opened it up and started using it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever.
My grandpa used to put butter, like on toast, butter, and then maple butter on top. Oh my gosh. Maybe a little cinnamon.
But anyways, so that's the difference. Like you can get sugar from nature naturally. You have to be careful of like natural. It's not like it doesn't mean anything. But that's the difference between a refined sugar that's made in like a lab or a sugar that's like from nature. Like it's tapped from trees, or bees are actually making it. It's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. So they definitely do something different in your body, and we have to pay attention to which ones we're using because they affect us differently. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that most people find shocking when I'm like, sugar's a drug. Like, sugar is a drug, without question. And they would label it a drug if they could make a bunch of money off it. It's so cheap they can't. So they can't like sell it for hundreds of dollars, or they can't they can't really tax it. It's because it's so abundant. And there's all kinds of different forms of sugar, so how can they categorize them? But sugar is detrimental to our health. It's highly addictive, and it causes a number of issues, not only mentally but physically as well. So, and you know what I'm talking about. If you go on a sugar detox and you have a horrible headache, like it's because you're addicted to sugar. Your body and your brain is expecting that sugar to be continually put in, and when it's not, it's like your body's like, what's happening? Like your brain is like going through like rejection state, so you get like those migraine headaches. And the same thing with coffee. Like, it's the same thing with coffee. Like if I feel like if your body goes into a state of like, how do you say, withdrawal?
Withdrawal.
Like if your body goes into a withdrawal state, then when you take something away, like if you stop eating salads, is your body going to be like, are you going to have like crazy headaches and your body going to be like, what's happening to me? No, because it's natural. It's food. You're supposed to be having that. But if you're putting substances in your body that make you addicted to it, you probably shouldn't be consuming it.
And that's like one thing that I really didn't like about coffee, was that when I was a coffee drinker, was that I didn't, because I was addicted, so I didn't like being dependent on that, right? Oh, I gotta get my coffee, because if not, I'm gonna have this big headache, I'm not gonna feel good, and I didn't like having that dependence. But sugar is no different, and I just now don't enjoy the way that the sugar makes me feel. And you see it in kids all the time, and even sometimes in adults, like that sugar rush and then the crash. So we talk a lot about that crash with caffeine, for example, like, or other, like coffee and other caffeinated drinks. It does give you that boost of energy, but then it's a crash, so it's not that sustainable energy source.
And that's the problem with not only the detrimental to your health, but it's the increase in energy, increase in blood sugar levels, and then it drops off, and then you go through the crash and you go through withdrawals, and you like in the day, and you're like, what's happening? So you're like, oh, I'll just go grab another coffee, or I'll grab some other sugary substance to kind of lift me up, like a pastry or a donut or whatever. Yeah. And that gets a vicious cycle. So which affects your mood and affects your emotions, and then it affects your body, like how you're feeling and your overall health, right? So
it doesn't affect my emotions.
Is that right? Dorothy's like super sensitive to sugar, and she'll get like a clear spike in like energy, like a little kid. That's what it reminds me of. She's like bounced around, and I'm like, "Did you have some sugar today?"
No.
No sugar at all. If you guys are enjoying the show, hit that little hearts button. We got one so far. We got Sherry in here. Morning, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry. Sherry says, "Hi, guys."
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
So we're talking about sugar today.
Yeah, I think it's important to, especially at this time of year, going into Halloween and Christmas, to be aware of what we're consuming, right? Making sure that we're trying our best to stay away from sugar as much as possible. But, it's tough because we have treats in the staff room at work, and then there's trick-or-treating. So if you have kids, they're going to bring home bucketfuls of candy, right? And it's always in front of us.
And what's funny is, so Thanksgiving just ended for Canada, and in the US it's coming. So Canada, Thanksgiving just ended, but now Halloween's coming. So if you're in Canada, you just went through Thanksgiving, and you had like extra drinks and appetizers, desserts, and so that sugar rush is just happened. And then Halloween's coming. So there's already candies. Like Dorothy went to a little fair and they're like throwing out candies. Like it's already happening. So everyone thinks like Halloween is one day or Halloween is like coming, but it's already here.
Yeah.
Like they're already throwing out candies. There's already pumpkins going around. There's already scary movies.
I had to turn your scary movie off last night. Just the noises that, oh my gosh, I can't handle it. So I'm like, I can't listen to this.
She was gone. And then she came back and she ruined my movie. But anyway, at any rate, so if it's Halloween, then there's Halloween, and if it's not Halloween, it's Thanksgiving for the U.S. right? So you're going through Thanksgiving, Halloween, or Thanksgiving again, and then after this November ends, December.
Yeah.
And it's Christmas. And then everyone thinks, oh, Christmas isn't until the 23rd, 24th, 25th.
Oh, it's the whole month.
It starts like December 1st. Like the decorations are coming out, the candies are coming out, the candy canes are out.
Oh, and the advent calendars.
Ooh, and we are advent calendar fans. Advent calendars. So you get sugar every day.
But you know what is the most, I don't want to say shocking, but if you're a type of person that is feeling drained of energy on a regular basis, oh, I don't know why, I just have no energy. Oh, I didn't sleep last night, so I don't have any energy. It's the sugar that we're consuming, or the caffeine that we're consuming. It's just this vicious cycle. If we eat a lot of sugar or have sugar in our diet, sugar does not promote sleep. So then...
Or energy,
right? So it actually takes the energy out of our bodies.
You should say sustainable energy.
Yes.
Because it gives you a little boost of energy. So if you're here, and then you have your sugar, like refined sugar, then you're like, oh, up here just for a second, and then you drop down past your
your regular level.
So people are like, oh, I just need some sugar. Just need a little pick-me-up. But it's not going to help you in the long run. You're going to be down here.
You're going to be, it's going to bring you lower than where you were when you started. But what I was saying is you got to get out of that vicious circle, because you eat sugar to pick you up and then you're lower, and then you can't sleep because you've had sugar throughout the day, so then you wake up and you're tired without any energy, so you have sugar. Right? To pick you up. So it's that vicious cycle.
Sherry says, yeah, something I need to get control of. Bad old sugar. What are you, if maybe you guys could leave in the comments what your biggest challenge is when it comes to sugar.
Oh, I don't want to put words in people's mouths. But I was just saying, well, it's got to be the addiction piece, right?
Maybe that's for you. Maybe you'd like to share what your issue is.
With sugar?
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with sugar.
All right.
No, I think for me, I'm not addicted to sugar now, but it's breaking that habit or breaking that addiction that is the difficult part. But also environment. Environment was really difficult for me because working in a school, right? You're constantly brought treats, and it's a way for people to say thankful and show gratefulness is to bake something for you, or to bring you a treat, or to bring you a coffee. And it's was really difficult for me to say no thank you because people are showing their gratitude and they're grateful for what you do. And so that was one of the challenges, or is one of the challenges for me.
We got a couple comments on here. John says, oops, that's not the right one. Sorry. Can you read that?
Maple butter sounds delicious. Oh, it is delicious.
It's fantastic.
Have we ever found, I don't think we've ever found it in Alberta though, have we? Maple butter?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
John says sugar's a nasty substance.
Yeah.
It is, for sure.
I don't even, it just blows my mind, how it's even allowed in our food. Or how are they even allowed to sell it, right?
It's crazy. You know what's, to me, is sugar, the refined sugar is pretty, it's pretty basic. The refined sugar is, pretty basic in its own rights. But then they do all kinds of crazy things to it, like the flavors and the colors and the cartoons. So I feel like it's such a, and it's not it's complimenting the industry, but in not a good manner. Of course, they put kids behind cereal boxes, and where did they come? Where did the industry come from when they're now sugar sells to everyone, right? They sell to every cereal.
Sorry, I just got this big flash. So, can I tell my story?
I was right in the middle of talking. Oh, stop! I gotta tell my story.
Well, when he said they put kids on cereal boxes, I got this really big flash of a story. But you can finish your story.
No. Please. Please tell us.
Okay. So my friend's little girl is about 1.5, and they're having a really hard time getting her to eat. I think that she's going through a growth spurt, right? And during the growth spurt, the body is focusing not growing, and so you're not eating as much. But anyway, they're so worried about what she's eating, da-da-da-da. She normally doesn't eat box food, like granola bars from a box and all of that. But they just wanted to get something for her to eat something. So the grandma goes and buys like a box of granola bars. And who's on the front of the box of the granola bars? Elmo!
Oh my
gosh. Elmo! So
have you had sugar?
Elmo is like enticing you to buy this baby box of granola bars. Bring it home. And she eats, this is not going to sound very nice, but she just eats it right up. Like, I was going to say she ate the crap out of it. And they're like, whoa, she really, really loves these. This, like, oh my, amazing. And I look at the box and I'm like, of course, the first ingredient, sugar.
Sugar.
First ingredient. Of course she's eating the crap out of it. It's got sugar in it. Yeah. But that story, when Drew said about the marketing, they put the kids on the boxes and behind the boxes, I'm like, oh my gosh. They put Elmo on the box for marketing.
Wait, did that just hit you?
I don't know, it just did at that moment. Oh!
But
then again, you know, is the mood swings. And she's only 1.5, but she was eating all of that sugar and then she's having a tantrum on the floor.
You see it with kids all the time. Like, it's so clear with kids. And I don't see why we think we're different because we're grown-ups. Like, we're not any different. We have the same moods and emotions and issues. We're just bigger. And older. Right? Like, let's read what we got here. Jane says cravings is one of her issues. We got a sugar detox coming up, Jane. That might help. And then Sherry said,
I would think it's probably coffee with flavored creams.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
You know,
why do they make them taste so good?
I got a quick story. I never drank coffee before, and I started working in a gym. And then I was getting up at 6 a.m., which sounds funny now because we get up at 4 a.m. But I was getting up at 6 a.m., and that was early for me. And I was like, oh, everyone talks about coffee. Maybe the coffee will help me wake up. So I was drinking, I started drinking coffee, and then they had some creamers. And I'm a hazelnut fan. Really enjoy hazelnuts. So they got like a hazelnut creamer, and I put that in my coffee.
It tastes delicious, of course.
Oh, it tasted so good. Because I wasn't really a coffee fan, and I was like, maybe I'll just put a little bit of extra of this hazelnut cream. I probably could have just drank the cream. And I used to get these horrible headaches. And I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, like my head was pounding. I didn't know any better. I was, I don't know how old I was, mid-20s, early to mid-20s. I was working at a gym, and I had to get up to open, and I got these horrible headaches, and I was drinking this for a couple weeks. Then I was drinking coffee. Then I had some days I had a double shift, so I'd open up and then I'd have to close. So I was drinking coffee into the evening, and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, "What's going on? What's wrong?" And I never drank coffee before, so I didn't tell everyone. So it wasn't like I didn't tell everyone, not because I was hiding it. I just didn't think of it, so no one could be like, the caffeine's keeping you up at night. So I got these horrible headaches. I couldn't sleep. So I was like, I'm not drinking coffee anymore. So I stopped drinking coffee. And then, of course, my headaches went away and I slept fine. So, but anyways, Sherry, just check out the ingredients on the back of those creamers. They're horrible. Like some of the most toxic things we can put in our bodies. There'll be like 50 ingredients probably on the back of it. But thank you for sharing that with us. There's lots of people that use them and probably wouldn't admit to it. So thank you for that. What's John saying?
My wife was having crazy cravings for sugar last night. She was so desperate she wanted to bake a cake at 9 p.m.
That's awesome.
So if you are...
Did she bake the cake, John?
I just want to touch on cravings for a few minutes, but... Cravings, it comes about because of lack of nutrients. So if we've had nutrients throughout the day that hasn't served our bodies, so if we've had sugary or processed foods throughout the body, our bodies didn't get the nutrients it needs. So then in the evening, they're saying, what the heck, I need something more. But a lot of times, because we've had the sugar or we're addicted to sugar and the processed foods, that's what our body is telling us that it wants because it doesn't really know the nutrients that it needs, right? Mm-hmm. So we have to, for example, I don't know if you'd say trick the cravings.
No, you have to change your habits.
Yeah, change your habits. But I always try to change my mindset. Okay, I'm having a craving. Let me think back to throughout my day of what nutrient I was missing. Did I eat enough healthy fats? Did I have enough carbs, like healthy carbs? Did I get enough fruits and veggies? Like am I missing antioxidants, right? Like leafy greens. And then that's when journaling is really important, to journal your food throughout the day, because sometimes it's hard to remember what you had throughout the day. So if you keep a food journal, you can go back and look and see, like for me, it was always missing out a lot on healthy fats. So in the evening, if I was having a craving and I look back in my journal, oh my goodness, I didn't have any healthy fats today, then I could have an avocado or maybe some peanut butter or something to fulfill what the body needs.
Yeah, so there's two, like I would say there's two things. Like our cravings are lacking a nutrient, like Dorothy's talking about, and then the other one is habits. So usually we have the habit of, like, it's like, I mean, most of you know Pavlov, like Ivan Pavlov law. Do you know?
I know that one.
So
I think everybody does.
Yeah, well, most people know. So like like every time you have dinner, if you're used to a sugary substance in a dessert, then your body's going to expect it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same difference. Like if you open up the fridge and every time you open up the fridge you have this piece of candy or some chocolate sitting in there, and you take a piece of it. Like sometimes we keep our dark chocolate in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
So if I always see it, this happens. Like if I always see the dark chocolate sitting in the fridge, then I'm going to take a piece of it. And then the dark chocolate's gone, and before I open the fridge, like my mouth is watering. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to have a little piece of that chocolate. So it's the habits that we need to break. So we're always like, oh, we're dinner time, or Friday night, pizza night, or hot dog day. Or if we're always expecting to have dessert after dinner, that's a habit that needs to be broken because your body's expecting that.
You don't have to have dessert every time after dinner.
You can have dessert before dinner sometimes.
Oh.
Ooh. But we're pretty fortunate. Like when we have desserts or treats, they're healthy options, and I know some people struggle with getting to that, so that's why we're here to help you with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to pull on some questions and comments because we love them. Sorry, where are we at here?
Share after the cake one.
This one?
Yeah. Sherry says, also not paying attention to ingredients in foods. It's so, most people, I would say on average, most people don't, right? We just look at the front label of the box. Yeah. And what really makes me mad, I suppose, is the marketing industry. The rules and regulations over labeling is, basically, there are no rules in the regulations. They can throw natural on a box, and there's nothing natural about the product at all. Or they can throw...
They have this one, digestion cookies.
Oh, yeah.
These are digestion cookies, and we looked at the ingredients, and we're like, oh my gosh.
Digestion buddies or something like that.
That's not going to help anyone's digestion.
Yeah. So we always encourage people to start looking at the ingredients. Also, in the, dieting world, we are conditioned to look at what is that called? Like the label with the calories and the fats and all of that. But we always encourage people to look at the ingredient list as opposed to that.
Yeah. Don't look at the we don't count calories. Don't look at the ingredients, or don't look at the
fats,
proteins, fat, like that nutritional value, or is that what it's called? I don't know what it's called anymore. Anyways, it's nonsense. You gotta look at the ingredients. Mm-hmm. Because they put those numbers in there to deceive you. So it could say, only 300 calories for this whole big bag, and then it says 25 servings. So then you got to multiply 25 times 300, and you eat the whole bag. Like, this is only 300. No, it's not. You didn't read the fine print. I did want to mention that if you guys are interested, we're going to mention this again at the end. But if you guys don't have a chance to stick around, we're going to be doing a 10-day sugar detox coming up. It's starting on Monday. So we've already started our private group. We're going to be talking about all this in depth. We're going to be giving you videos. We're going to be doing lives. We're going to have recipes. We're going to have
meal plan.
plan. We haven't talked about that.
Oh, we haven't talked
Maybe
about
a meal plan?
Maybe there's not a meal plan.
But we're going to have all kinds of details for you to help you fight cravings, to help improve digestion, to help you give more energy, and get away from that sugar. And we really want to show you what it feels like to be detoxed out of sugar. Like I'm telling you, you're going to feel fantastic, and you're going to be like, wow. You're going to have all this newfound energy, and you're going to be like, I don't know where all this is coming from. And that's the lifestyle we want to teach you to live. So this is going to be a crash course on how you can avoid sugar.
I think we totally underestimate the powerfulness of the energy that comes from food. It's because of the types of foods that we eat today, highly processed, lots of refined sugar. We don't get a chance to feel what it's like to have the sustainable energy from food. And like Drew talked about, in our detox coming up, we're going to be focusing on changing those habits so that it's sustainable. A lot of detoxes, it's like 10 days, get the sugar out, but then you haven't changed the habits, or your routines, so then after the 10 days, you go right back to the sugar and the processed food. So our intention is to help you change your mindset, help you create new routines, and help you create new habits so that after the 10 days, you don't go back to the sugary stuff or the processed stuff.
So I just dropped the link in the comments here. If you're interested, you can click on the link and find full details about our Sugar Detox starting on Monday. But this is kind of a soft launch. We always answer questions on
Fridays and
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Throughout the weekend, yeah.
And then Monday's the official start day. So you actually get, it's going to be like a 14-day, basically. If you sign up now, you get some bonus.
Some bonus days. And then, of course, there's always a little bit of prep. So you'll have to have some time to go and get some groceries and things like that. So that's why we give you a few extra days. My mom said that she's going to get us some maple butter for Christmas.
Yes. Looking forward to that.
I like John's question. He says, are you pulling it on?
I'm clicking on it.
Okay. He said,
I suggest we try some of Dorothy's baking recipes.
Yeah.
I think you should, John. They're amazing. Too.
Yeah. One really, really good one to start with is it's always a fan favorite, is the banana chocolate chip muffins with complete truth protein. That one it's just delicious, and everybody seems to really like that one. Even kids. Like my niece, my nephews, they gobble those up. My friend has little kids, and that's their favorite recipe.
Why'd you stop talking?
I thought you were pulling on another comment.
I was.
What do you use in your baking to replace sugar? We use honey or maple syrup, usually. Those are our two go-to natural sweeteners. It's hard in the beginning for some people to go from refined sugar to liquid sugar, but we kind of have to change. It's a change of mindset, because you're baking when we're cooking with natural ingredients. For example, if we're using complete truth protein instead of white refined flour, they're not going to the muffins are gonna be, when they're fluffy and cakeish. When we use sugar and refined white flour, they're gonna be delicious. Our healthy ones are super delicious, but it's gonna be different. So you have to prepare your mind that it's going to be different, but it still tastes really good.
Still tastes good.
Yeah.
I lost it.
It's gone.
It's so close. It's there. Dorothy has been experimenting with stevia as well.
Yeah.
In baking.
But I have been, and I like it. I like stevia, but I find a lot of people aren't big fans. Well, maybe not. There's a good portion of people, I suppose, that aren't big fans of stevia. So what I've been doing is trying to figure out how to convert a stevia to a honey. So those of you who don't like stevia could then use a honey, but I'm still in that process right now.
Oh, I know what I was saying is if you avoid sugar, let's say if you're making some food with sugar, it's cheating. The taste of sugar makes everything better. So
right.
So it's kind of like, to me, it's cheating. Like, oh, you can put sugar. Like, we could probably like mix in some sugar in a stir fry.
Right.
Like a lot of times you can actually cook your food with the sauces, and then you put sauce and you put some sugar in there, and it sweetens it up and makes all the flavors pop. Now, of course, that's ruining the food to us, and it's because it's detrimental to your health. Like, we eat to nourish our body. Most people eat for flavor. So if you're having something like, if you're doing some baking and you're adding sugar in there, you have to understand that it's a different type of product, and you have to give your taste buds a chance to change, because our taste buds are so conditioned around sugar. If you give someone something without sugar, they're like, what is this? Like, what are you doing? We went to this Halloween thing. It was super fun. And they were giving away these hippie chips, they're called.
Oh, yeah.
And they look like cheesies.
And I love them.
But they're made from chickpeas. So they're like kind of bland, but they're crispy and they're flavorful. But if you're used to cheesies, or if you're used to sugar, of course cheesies has tons of sugar in it, then you're not ready for it. So there's this younger girl, she was 13 with us, and we were kind of hanging out with our friends' kids as well. And she like took a bite of it, and she's like, she's like, what is this?
Her reaction was hilarious.
It was so funny.
Because she's thinking she's gonna eat a cheesy.
Right.
And it wasn't a cheesy.
So but I could see that reaction from other people when they try something and are like completely expecting sugar.
Are you wearing my beads?
Yes. Mine broke. You just got that?
I've been looking for my beads for days.
They were sitting on the rack, where they always are.
He's wearing my beads.
Mine broke.
So he's wearing mine!
Mine broke, and we have Amanda who does all my bead work, because mine break all the time because I always wear them. And so she's mailing them to me, so I feel naked without my beads.
So he decides to wear mine. Meanwhile, I'm like, where are my beads?
She didn't even know.
They're on him!
I've been wearing these for like a week. She had no idea.
Because I was looking for my beads!
They're right in front of you!
They're on you!
At any rate, I think when we went to this conference, like around success and around finances, and one of the first things that one of the best speakers said was, you have to come with an open mind. Like, be here with an open mind to learn and to try new things and to grow. And I think if you want to grow health-wise, you have to have an open mind when you're trying new things or you're making new recipes. Because we hear from people all the time, they're like, oh yeah, I tried a stir fry, it doesn't work. Or tried stir fry, don't like it. Or I tried your baking.
I tried to do healthy baking, but it didn't turn out.
Like, you try one time and you don't open your mindset, nothing's going to change.
It's not enough to try once and then give it up. When we were first developing our recipes, I was hours and hours and hours and hours in the kitchen. Hours. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, you're so good at it. But I put in the time. And so if you put in the time and the effort, you'll get good at it too.
Hey, it's with everything, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to read this one?
Suzanne says, I can't drink flavored creams. They are so sweet for me. I don't use sugar in my coffee. I like the taste of coffee, but I only have one a day. When I was younger, I drank so much coffee and cream and sugar that I was taking in over 100 calories. Over 1,000 calories a day, and didn't understand why I put on weight until I went to the doctors. So I stopped drinking it for a long time. And that's a
good point. Thanks for sharing that with us, Suzanne.
That's a great point. And we see all the time around this area, especially because there's Starbucks on every corner. Oh, am I allowed to say that? But anyway, like people going around with their giant coffees, and they're like the fancy ones, right? With the the syrups, the sugars, and the whipped creams, and the this and the that, and the flavors. And you can drink a day's worth of calories in a drink if you're not careful, right? So that's why it's so important to know what's the ingredients and what you're consuming and putting in your body, because it's crazy. Like, I don't know where we were. We were at a coffee shop and we saw that this was in New York, I don't know, a couple years ago, but we were getting a tea, and they had labeled how many calories in each pastry item, and one of the pastries had 600 calories in it, wasn't it?
I think that's low. I think
something
I
crazy.
think some have like 800 to 1,000.
And then you add your coffee on top of that because most people don't drink just black coffee, right? So then you add your sugar, you add your creams and your flavors and all that. And then you're up to like 1,500 calories.
Can we talk about you meeting someone for the first time, telling them that we try to get people not to drink coffee? At the conference.
Oh, at the conference.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? The guy was so upset.
Beside me?
No, beside me. The hairdresser guy?
Oh, yeah. People don't like it. I used to like not say anything, but
I wouldn't say
that's
anything.
what we do. I didn't say we don't try to drink coffee. He's like, I don't know why. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. I was a coffee lover, but as soon as I figured out that it wasn't doing anything for my body, like wasn't helping out my health, I was like, I got it. Like, I was on the bandwagon that I had to quit. But,
Well, you care about your health. Some people don't.
I suppose.
I just thought it was funny. Like, I wouldn't. It's just me, though. You can do whatever you want. Like, I probably wouldn't say we tried not to get people to drink coffee, like, when you first meet them.
That's not what I said, though. He asked me what we do, and I said we teach people how to improve their energy, or increase their energy, improve digestion. Oh, how do you do that? Oh, well, we teach people through food, like natural ways of increasing your energy through food instead of synthetic ways, like caffeine and sugar. And then I said something about coffee. I was like, people usually hate when I pick on their coffee, but
we don't recommend coffee.
We don't recommend coffee. We recommend other ways to increase your energy naturally. And he was like so offended.
He was so upset.
But I'm like, that's what we do.
He was like, oh. He like almost turned his back to us. He's like, oh, well, I love my coffee. And he like turned this way. And I was like,
sorry, pal, that's what we do.
It was so, like, people are so emotionally attached to coffee that if you say something about their coffee, they, like, throw a tantrum.
Mm-hmm.
Suzanne says that she wants some apple butter too, Jane. So maybe you want to send her some.
Maple butter?
Maple butter, sorry. And then Suzanne said, sorry about the spelling.
No worries.
It's all good. And then what does John say?
John says, me too. I drink a Tim's Double every day. Sometimes twice. It's a common practice in the trades. I got hooked, but after aging several years, I realized how sick it was making me. I completely cut it out. I still have a small espresso in the morning, but no sugar.
Awesome, John. Good for you. That's it.
I was a double fan too, like way back.
Yeah?
Yeah. Double and a bagel.
I didn't even know what a double was. Well, what is it?
But you didn't live in Canada. You were in the US.
Right.
But anyway, a double-double's 2 cream, 2 sugar.
And is it a big, tall? Does it matter what size?
No, you can get a double-double whatever size. So you would say, I want a large double-double. So they'll put 2 cream and 2 sugar. You could say, I want a small double-double, 2 cream and 2 sugar. But you're getting a lot more because, well, you're getting less coffee, right? If you get it, right? Because it's small.
Coffee is a tough one for me, like, for a number of different reasons. Like, coffee lowers your magnesium levels, which most people don't know, so we're already low in magnesium, and then we deplete it with coffee. Coffee is a diuretic, so it takes water from your body, and we're already dehydrated. So we put substances that make us more dehydrated. Like that, there's a lot of different reasons. Like then you can look at like the coffee trade industry and how it's usually not fair trade, the fair wages. And then on top of that, like environmental purposes of, like, I don't understand, like, why we can't bring our own. If you're getting a coffee every day, why don't you bring a reusable cup? So you have the plastic tops and you have the cardboard. Like, sure, it's biodegradable, but what it takes to produce all those cups, and then they just sit in the trash cans or on the street corners. Like, a lot of things bother me about coffee. It's not just the coffee that people are like, oh, they just don't like coffee. And, like, there's a lot of different reasons why coffee bothers me, but environmental is a big one. Yeah,
environmental. I actually saw the other day, biodegradable lid. It wasn't plastic. Nice. It was paper. And, there are some coffee shops that are more environmentally conscious and do buy, like, the compostable paper cups. But, unfortunately, our big chains
are not on board.
And I don't know why.
Because of the money.
Right.
That's the hardest part. Like, they
Right.
make so much money. They have giant chains all across the world, and like just like one of them alone could make such a big difference in our environment, but they won't because they only care about their margin, their price. They'll lose like a couple cents on a cup if they went
To a compostable cup.
But if you're selling millions of cups, and you're not making those few pennies, then it's a big margin. But still, like, do something for the good of humanity if you're making billions of dollars.
One of our local coffee shops gives, I can't remember how much it is off your coffee, but if you bring your own mug, they give you a certain amount off your coffee, which I think is cool. Or off your drink if you bring in your own. So, like, I don't know. They're starting to do that too with like plastic grocery bags. If you bring your own, you get 10 cents off or whatever. But I always wondered, like, it's great. Like, 10 cents, save 10 cents. Like, you're saving, right? But I always wondered what it would be like if there was a bigger incentive to bring your own.
Of course, more people would if it was like 25 cents, but then the grocery industry's losing money.
Or make you buy it.
I think they do. Some do.
Well, I was thinking that with the coffee cups. Like, bring your own or pay $1 for one. I think people would start bringing their own.
They would.
If you had to pay $1 for a cup.
It's a great idea.
Because they're not going to not have their coffee.
Right.
Right? They're going to get their coffee. They're just going to be a little, I don't want to say the P word, but they're just going to be a little bit mad that they have to buy their cup. So next time they're going to bring their cup. I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah. Makes sense to us, but like a big coffee company doesn't care.
Right.
Like, then they're just like, oh, I just want to make money. Like, that's why I like to support local businesses that like care about people and the environment, their customers, and like big giant chains usually care about their bottom line.
You're right.
Anyways, we should probably get off that topic. Anything else that you want? Do you guys have any questions for us before we wrap things up about what we can help with? Maybe cravings or healthy substitutes. We are going, like I said, if you're interested in this topic, this conversation, we're going to have a whole 10 days of this. Well, 10, almost 14 days of this, like just talking about getting away from sugar, healthy substitutes, and then making you feel fantastic. And I think it's only $15. Like, I think that's pretty reasonable if you want to join. Then we put in together some packages if you want to. If you want a few other things that will help you as well. But it's all in the link. We have all the details here. So you can look on it and you can sign up. You can sign up. I kind of logged off early last night, and then I woke up to a handful of people that have already signed up.
Oh, awesome.
So that's exciting. So we already have a nice group that's forming. It's going to be very supportive. People are going to be encouraging, asking questions, and everyone's in it together.
Yeah, it's nice. And I was just going to say, we call it a sugar detox, but what you are gaining is a lot of energy. Everyone is so surprised throughout these detoxes that we do about how much energy they have. Even we had a friend stay with us for like a week, and she couldn't believe that how much energy she had or how good she felt after eating sugar-free and processed food-free for that long.
Oh, that was awesome. Well, that kind of ignited the idea to have a retreat. Like, oh, let's have a retreat and get people with us to live this lifestyle on a regular basis. But it didn't really go very well. Yeah, no, it's tough. Well, it like if we're there all the time, then you have to charge a price, and the price was a bit more than people could pay. Mm-hmm. But at any rate, it was still an idea that we'd like to do, and maybe in the future. But it's always nice to see people when they try our meal plans or they join our monthly membership. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how great I feel by eating this way."
Yeah.
John asked for something here.
Link. For the muffins, I think.
Dorothy's recipes. Dorothy's actually working on a recipe book, isn't she?
Yes. Yes, I am. Drew's laughing because I have taken a little break.
It's hard. Like,
it's so hard.
It's so hard.
Stay motivated.
Like, people have no idea how hard it is to write a book. Like, there's so many challenges. There's so many ups and downs. It's such a long process. It's always surprising to me when people are like, "That book is $15?" Like, what do you want? Get it for free? And I wasted all my time doing nothing.
Hours.
A day. Dorothy spends hours a day on, and I've written 3 books, and every one of them was the same. So, I think that if every single person had to write a book, and then try to sell it, I think there'd be more appreciation for books. And you could probably sell them for a higher price too, because people would know how much time.
How much time? Yeah. Can you drop the link in for John?
Dorothy, just the recipes. What recipes?
Well, we talked about the chocolate chip muffin recipe.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. What is Suzanne still waiting on?
A hard copy. It's coming.
Dorothy's working on it. Here, I'll share my screen real quick. Haven't done this for a while.
You're sharing the screen?
Yeah, I'll share.
Remember how to do it?
Yeah. Suzanne, you bet Dorothy is working on it. You can get a copy. There's actually going to be a pre-launch group where we're going to set up here. So when that's ready, we'll add you to the group and we'll let you know more details about it coming out.
Yes. Take your time. Good work takes hard work and dedication, patience. I look forward to your book. Oh, thank you.
Thanks, John. Share my screen. Okay, here's the screen. You should be able to see it now. Let us know if you cannot. So if you go, that's the Sugar Detox we were talking about. So if you're on the website, is this going to let me do it?
Oh, it's not. Well, you can just show them, Drew. So.
Here, wait. I'm doing it.
Oh, you are doing it.
I got it. She says of the first one. She wants one of the first ones. Suzanne, your books. Why are you giving me blanks there?
Oh, of the first one.
Okay, so if you go to the website here, you go to recipes, John, and then we have them categorized. So if you want some of our Dorothy's baking recipes, you just click on that top one, and you're gonna have a bunch of them. So here's some lemon blueberry muffins.
That's a Christmas one.
Christmas is coming up. Dorothy's been slacking on our blog post because she's working on a recipe book. Here's some Rudolph cookies, peanut butter chocolate balls. Here's some smoothie recipes. So anyways,
pumpkin.
I can send you any of these you want, John, or anyone else that's watching. But you can basically just go to our website and they're all here.
Yeah. Another way that I like to show people too is that we do have a search button on the website as well.
Look at this one. Yogurt parfait, pumpkin spice, banana chocolate chip muffins.
Those are the peanut butter ones. They don't have flour in them. They're super good. Oh, now he's getting all clicky happy.
I'm going to grab this and put it in the
comments.
comments.
Not the one that I was telling John about.
Anyways, what would you like me to put in the search bar?
Well, I just want to show you guys. You can go and type in smoothies, for example, and then you will get all of our smoothie recipes.
11 smoothie recipes you'll love.
And then you can go and type in muffins, for example, and then all the muffins will come up. Or cookies, or whatever you want.
Yeah, so whatever you guys are looking for, you can search there pretty easily. And if you can't find what you're looking for, just shoot us a message. We're like, as you know, if you're watching this, you know we're not people that are like, it kind of bugs me when people are like, oh, just go to the website. Like, they've done it a couple times at a farmer's market. Like, we were talking about being vendors at a farmer's market. Like, oh, what is it? Like, what do we have to do here? We came here for some information. Oh, just go to the website. The details are there. I'm like, why did I come here then?
Why did I come to your information booth? For information.
Right. Or why do you have an information booth if you're just going to send me to the website? Or we've been to a couple of retail stores now. Not a couple, like at least a handful that are like, oh, you can get that. Oh, just go online. Like we ask for like envelope size or like a cord I needed one time. Like, oh, we don't have that. Just go order it online. And I was like, if I ordered everything online, you wouldn't have a job.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, we don't have that. Go buy it.
John says, sweet thanks. You're welcome, John. And then he says,
I need to study the recipe so that I can pick up all the ingredients. Banana muffins. You put in the banana peanut butter ones.
Oh, well, this one's pretty awesome, John.
I wouldn't suggest, you can try, but I wouldn't suggest the banana peanut butter ones on your first try, though.
Okay.
Because they're a little bit trickier.
We'll send John the link when we're done here.
Okay. I'll send you the banana. You know what else is I'll send you the banana chocolate chip muffin recipe in a private chat or a private message. And then I'll also send you the peanut butter cookie ones because that is a super easy one and they're delicious as well. Drew can even make the peanut butter cookies.
What do you mean I can even? Oh, I made this. Stop it.
Stop it!
She patronizes me, and she doesn't know what that word means.
I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know what that means.
I made this awesome combination. So I'll tell you real quick, and then we'll let you guys go. So I wanted to surprise Dorothy because she was working and wasn't having a great day. So I was like, oh, I'll surprise her when she comes home. So I had CTP. Don't spoil any. No spoilers. I had CTP, and then I added. I didn't have any applesauce, so I mashed up a banana, and I put that in there. In replacement for the applesauce. Then I put in some.
Peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
So a half a cup of peanut butter, 1 banana. Then I put in 1 cup of CTP and chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And then I mashed those up all together.
What did you use for your sweetener?
And honey.
Honey.
And then half a cup of honey. So I changed one of Dorothy's recipes a little bit. So I put the banana in there. I put the half a cup of honey instead of a whole cup of honey.
Well, usually it's maple syrup in that recipe.
Okay. Anyways, it turned out pretty fantastic.
It doesn't really matter if you use maple syrup or honey. They're pretty interchangeable in terms of quantity. So usually general rule is if it's a cup of refined sugar, then you half that for a natural sweetener, like a natural liquid sweetener. And Drew also talked about the applesauce in recipes. Applesauce replaces your butter. So it's if you're
Or oil.
Butter or oil. So your applesauce will replace butter or oil in a recipe.
John says, I'm a wizard in the kitchen, Dorothy.
Bake off.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'd love to know how it goes, John. I'm not saying don't try the peanut butter ones. I'm just saying that they're harder. They're a harder one.
All right, guys. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks, and Suzanne and John, for being here for most of the show. And if there's anyone else sticking around, we can't see right now, but we appreciate your comments and hearts. And you got anything? Dorothy's
Have a
on
great
mute.
Friday, guys. Sorry, guys. I was just thinking about what's next. I'm like, oh, the show's ending. Then what?
What else we gotta do?
What else we gotta do?
Yeah.
But have a wonderful Friday, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you throughout the week. And next week, I think we're going to talk about Halloween. We have a really cool way to, I don't want to say get rid of your Halloween candy, but
There's some ideas.
there's some ideas on how to handle all the Halloween treats. So tune in next Friday, and we'll give you our tips and tricks.
That's right. All right, guys.
Bye, guys.
We're going to end this off with a high five, because it's how we roll. See ya.
Yeah, we got to do the Carlton.
I think it's the Fresh Prince.
Oh, I thought it was, oh, yes. Carlton did the,
Okay. Say goodbye, Dorothy.
bye, Dorothy.